Yep. This is the F.A.N show, and I am your host, as always, the T-Man, Richard T-Man. Those of you watching on YouTube, drink it in. This is like a very rare thing happens, I think literally once every 12 years. The last time that I was in Seahawks gear, I lost a bet, 49ers versus Seahawks, and I not only had to wear Seahawks gear, I had to get up before the entire bar that we were watching the game at, Sunday Night Football, primetime packed place, and announce to everybody how great the Seahawks were. So it was one of the most painful moments of my life. The man laughing hysterically, maniacally, like some evil villain in a movie, a James Bond flick, is Father Malc, the man who still wears those light up sneakers, with the little blinky lights in the heels. But
and Haley's, don't forget.
and Healy's. But he won last week's pick'em, so he got to pick the punishment, and this is it. This jersey is snug. It is my wife's jersey. She picked out the hat. Oh, I didn't do the face paint. All right, I owe you face paint at some point, but I think this get up is humiliation enough right now. I got to go through however long we record with this. But once again, this is the award-winning F.A.N show. Richard Demon, Father Malc, Malcolm McCoy, and man, Father Malc, I am in a mood. It could be this. It could be me in Seahawks gear as a 49ers fan. It could be that it was a great week of
Oh,
IFL action. Not only IFL, we had the new UFL action as well, but also could have been that my day
sir.
at work today kind of sucked. My day job of giving hipsters blowies in bathrooms or whatever. I'm sorry, that'll never not be funny to me. It just won't. But anyway, or it could be something that happened over the weekend, which we will get to in a little bit. But just forewarn you all, I'm in a mood. It is late on a Monday night. Easter was yesterday. I had a great Easter dinner. Happy Easter to all of you, Malcolm. Happy Easter to you as well. So let's start out this episode just like we did last week with the good, the bad, and the funny, and we'll give it to you first, Father Malcolm. Let's hear your good, bad, and funny from this last week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How kind of you, Rich. I appreciate it, man. And might I add that the green really brings out your eyes, man. I'm
This
loving
is obnoxious lime green.
it. Oh man, I think we found Rich some new colors, guys. Anyway, to start off my good, bad, and funny, I had two good actually.
Ooh,
Is that something we can do?
yeah, let's do too
hope I'm not
good.
hope I'm not deviating from the rules too heavily here. But my first one, some IFL action. Thomas Owens of the Mass Pirates, man, made a great play, great one-handed catch in the back of the end zone. It made Sports Center top 10. It was actually the number one play on Sports Center this week, and I think that's a great look, not only for football in general, but just the IFL, man. The IFL has been, as we know, it's had its struggles, like some hiccups here and there, but that's a great way to put the IFL and indoor football as a whole on the map, man. Yeah, I couldn't believe my eyes watching that, and I was proud to be an indoor football player myself at that point. Um,
He may have
my
pushed
second,
off, but still, it was an
yeah.
amazing play.
See, Sportsman caught the perfect angle on that because it was hard to see like anything outside of the catch itself. So I mean, I hope he's enjoying it as much as I did. But what's going on here? Okay, I thought you were covering up this jersey. I just wanted to make sure everybody sees what's going on here, right?
This is still a professional sports show, okay? Like I still can look semi-professional. I'm not covering everything up, but I got to get in the right mindset, my man. So,
I like it. I like it. I like it. Oh, shoot. For the second one, man. For my collegiate lovers, I would say, I was watching the LSU versus Iowa women's basketball game earlier today. It actually went off not too long before the last IFL game came on, and LSU traditionally a great team. Iowa has Caitlin Clark. She's just been setting the women's basketball world on fire.
hmm.
Um, And yeah, it was pretty crazy. A great game. Iowa ended up taking it home. But I couldn't help but find myself wondering how many people were tuned in. I took a look. It said that at its height, 12.6 million people were tuned into the game, which actually broke the NCAA women's basketball record. So that's also some great news for women's basketball as a whole. They've traditionally and habitually been underviewed and underpaid and things like that. So, I feel like that can bring some much needed recognition and publicity back to the sport itself. So that was pretty cool. What's your take on that, Rich? Do you like it at all? Or what?
No, I mean, I think it's like you said, it's good, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
one
for
of your
sure,
good things. It's great for them to have the most views and stuff and continue to climb that ladder. Like why
for
not? Go
sure.
for it. Get it.
Really cool, man. Really cool, man. I like that a lot. I guess I was just watching a lot of basketball this week because my bad also has some it has some pertinence in the NBA. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like terrible news, but for those like myself who grew up watching LeBron James and pretty much he's the best basketball player of my era, pretty much of all time, if you ask certain people. He mentioned retirement, didn't say it was like right on the horizon, but he did mention that, and we all knew it was coming. He's 39 years old. He's been playing for what 21 seasons. So I mean, at some point, you got to hang it up. You can't play forever. But he mentioned that he doesn't have too much longer to play in the NBA, and I mean, I guess it's more so like a congratulatory thing because he has been playing at a high level for decades, and it's just I know we'd be sad to see him go, but left behind a remarkable legacy. So that's my bad. The funny Rudy also in basketball, Rudy Gobert of the Timberwolves. It's funny to me because we had this conversation off screen a number of times, but he was fined. I want to say about 2 weeks ago for making like a money gesture at the ref, implying that their calls are like influenced by sports betting, and doubled down on it too in the post game conference, saying that he feels like a lot of the calls and the gameplay in basketball nowadays is just strictly centered around sports betting, and I feel like a lot of the NBA players sided with them on that too, and it's hard not to look at it that way, especially just given recent events and recent calls and stuff like that. And I'm pretty uh you know I don't want to say excited. I'm curious to see how the NBA responds to that and how professional sports as a whole moves forward from there, because we have recognized it as a problem, and it could end up leading to a decline in viewership.
Fair enough, man. Well, that's a couple of goods and then a bad and
uh
then yeah, a little bit of funny. So
mm,
mine, okay, you went all basketball after you went like UFC and NFL last week. So my
oh,
good is
that's great.
actually way off the charts. My good is wrestling.
Yeah.
WWE wrestling is so good right now. Like I am locked
It-
in, hooked, edge of my seat. The Rock is back. It's heel Hollywood Rock. Oh, it's got
yeah.
reeks of Attitude Era-esque, and now we got WrestleMania this weekend. I mean, that's as good as a good can be this time
Yeah.
of year. I mean, oh, I am so stoked. Another good was obviously Easter. Easter weekend's always a fun weekend. So
Always.
that's my good for you wrestling fans out there. I will be watching both nights of WrestleMania, night one and two. But oh man, it's so good to feel like a little kid again. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it.
For sure, for sure.
My bad to the NFL.
Oh
She
man.
Rice, man. Dude, that is such a bad look. Like,
Yeah. Uh,
so look, I don't get it. I'm not gonna pretend like I do. I'm a white boy who went through the public school system. I didn't come
uh,
from money. I grew up where it said on the directions that you had to write down, because we didn't have GPS or Google Maps, it said turn right onto the dirt road. Okay, that's where I grew
Yeah,
up. There's so many incidents with guns and groups of people and things like that, and there's car crash, and I just don't think I'm ever going to understand it. I mean, when you saw that headline come through, like, what was your first thought?
man. See, Rich. I mean, I'm definitely with you on this, man. It just my initial reaction was just like, come on, man. It's just at some point in time you have to. I feel like you have to kind of, and Rasheed Rice is still a fairly young guy, but at some point you have to grow out of that mindset and just understand that as on the pedestal where you are now, certain things you just can't move how you used to before you reach a specific level of fame, and because not only it does it look bad on you and your family, but it looks bad on the organization, looks bad on the NFL as a whole, and it's a sad thing to see, man. I hate to see it. I just wish that guys would be a little more forward thinking before they, find themselves in situations like that.
Exactly. So, we'll see what happens with it. He's cooperating, I guess, according to a tweet from his attorney. But man,
Yeah.
it's this kind of off-season stuff that really I could go without, I guess, is long
Yeah,
story
for
short.
sure.
My
Uh
funny though, my funny, so on to something a little bit lighter heartedness. Comes from the chat once again of the IFL streams. I know, I'm supposed to hit that X button and enjoy the game, but sometimes I start to see some interactions and I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what happens. It was during the Massachusetts Pirates game, and
yeah.
there's a person in there that covers the league also. We call her Angie the expert because
Hmm.
every time she's in the chat, she acts like she's the expert, comes across condescending more often than not, and people were letting her have it. She was getting trolled by a few people and whatnot, but that wasn't what was funny. In fact, I'll probably somehow, some way, she'll see or hear this, and I'll get a strongly worded email because it's happened before. There's
Oh, I'm
history
sure.
there, but we won't tell that story yet. So she makes the comment: Mark Stout shouldn't be allowed anywhere near an arena or indoor team. So naturally, there was a few people like, why? Her reasoning was because he's a terrible football coach that has had no success outside of what she calls a fluke season with the Cedar Rapids Titans. Okay, fair enough. He's a bad coach. But
Mhm.
Malcolm, you and me, we've been in some trenches. And I
Yeah.
think personally, a person that shouldn't be allowed anywhere near an arena or indoor team would be someone who trafficked cocaine between teams in a league, somebody who maybe has been kicked out or banned from more arenas than there are teams in the league, or maybe a guy or an individual who spent more time in jail than they did at the team's games that they're associated with. And I wish
Uh-huh.
I was talking about different people, but this is all the same person. And
Same person.
just the fact that this individual is still part of that front office blows my mind. That's the
Hey,
kind of person that shouldn't be allowed anywhere near an arena or indoor football team. So I'm not saying she's naive. I just thought it was a little
uh,
funny because clearly people have experienced things differently. And this was one of those moments. So
uh,
that's my good, bad, and funny. I knew that you would know instantly what I was talking about, but oh man,
exactly.
I saw that comment. I was like, that's cute.
Yeah, hey, it goes to show you that how the saying goes, no matter how bad you think it is, it can always get worse. It can
Always,
certainly always
always
get
get
worse.
worse, man.
We've
So,
seen this firsthand. So
so before we get to week three recap, which was great IFL action, I think every over hit, which is what a lot of people predicted would happen after all the unders hit. Going into
mhm,
week two, a lot of one score games, a lot of photo finishes last
yeah.
night, tonight. This again is Monday that we're recording this. But
Mhm.
before we do that, so it's a new month. And I think what we should do at the beginning of each month is something I call put it to bed. Something that maybe we talked about the month prior felt like beating a dead horse, and now it's time to put it to bed. So we won't put
Okay.
you on the spot for this yet, Malcolm. I'll give you an example of what I mean. So for this,
Yeah.
um, the streams. I'm ready to read it a book, sing it a
Yeah.
lullaby, give it a Benadryl, put it to bed. Like that's where I'm at here. But first, before we do, there was something, last week's episode, I got a lot of
Mhm.
messages and DMs from people that were like, man, you were spot on with what you said about this. And hey, dead on. Like, you're 100% right. I wish they would do that, blah, 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 blah. And then there was some people that were like, hey, careful what you say. You might get in trouble. And I feel like before I put to bed what I want to, that there's a little context that needs to be had in order to fully understand like why I don't care. So a little story time for you, Malcolm.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So I mentioned the first episode that my first season or my second season covering indoor football, I got approved for credentials from every team in the league except Spokane because of some BS reason that I wasn't even made aware of. So it's like I can't correct it, I can't
Right.
apologize for it. I didn't even know it happened, and I'm pretty sure that it didn't. They've just for some reason decided that they didn't like me. So, okay, whatever. Fast forward a couple years, I'm covering the IFL and the NAL, touring
Mm.
full speed, going all over the place, Massachusetts, Carolina, all over. And there was a guy who worked in the NAL front office called Jeff Bouchie, and he wasn't very
Yeah.
popular among the league. But I
Mhm.
remember it was like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I get 3 messages from different people saying he was being relieved of his duties with the league. For me, this
Oh,
is breaking news, right? Like, wow, okay. If it's one source, that's a rumor, okay? Hey, I'm hearing that this might be happening.
Mhm.
2 sources, though, okay, we've got something. Third source, hey, I've got it, especially if they're all separate. That's journalism
Right.
101. So I break the news. I get a text probably an hour later, if that, from their
Uh,
then commissioner, Chris Siegfried, who said, I'm very disappointed in you for breaking that story. And I'm like, okay, sorry, dad. Like, like I replied, is it not true then? And I never got a response. So it's like, this is your
uh,
chance to comment, set me straight. Like, if something's wrong, fix it. But it didn't
yeah.
happen.
Right.
So then you fast forward to another year where it starts to become this thing that I have something against the Arizona Rattlers, which I don't. Truth be told, I've never had anything against their players. Some of their
Mhm.
fans, like all but two, I've had issues with. And I realize that that might be the equivalent of somebody saying, I don't have a problem with you. I have a problem with your wife or your husband. Well, then you have a problem with me. I get it. I
Yeah,
get it.
for
I do.
sure.
But they're the only team fans I've ever been around that I've never felt very welcomed with. So it's like, okay, like,
Okay.
we'll tiptoe around this. But also, there were 3 years in a row where my name would get brought up at team meetings, or league meetings. I mean, and of course, it's during the time where they're talking about media. Who's going to handle
Mhm.
that? My name gets brought up. So you see the posts online and whatever. Hey, having league meetings. So I would text some of my friends that are there. Hey, how'd it go? Blah, blah, blah. What's new? What can we expect? And they're like, hey, your name got brought up again, but no luck. And then somebody says, hey, like, what's the deal with you and Kevin Guy? What do you mean? Like, I don't, there is no deal. He
Yeah.
doesn't like you. This is news to me. Yeah, when your name got brought up, it got shot right back down.
Mm.
Okay. Now there's interactions with people that we have where you can look back and be like, I bet it was that, or maybe it
Yeah.
was that, maybe I said this. I honestly never interacted with the individual enough to be like, I bet it's that. Like, this is news to me. So
Yeah.
basically, what I'm saying is that when people tell me, careful, you might get in trouble for saying this or for doing this, I already
Uh,
get in enough trouble for stuff that I don't even try and do. Like, so if I'm going to get in
uh,
trouble, it needs to be worth getting in trouble over. All right. So there, I've
for
said it. There's
sure.
your
For
context.
sure.
What I'm putting to bed is my feelings on the streams, but the people that messaged me with, the hey, you were right, 100% dead on, whatever, also asked if I had seen the IFL Weekly with the commissioner's comments.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't usually watch the show. I'm sorry, I don't. But I was
Uh,
curious now, so I went back, and he starts off the episode, and here's the cliff notes. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but it says for us to be able to bring you a free service, we're going to have some issues. When we have issues on the back end, it is a mad scramble. We know that there's issues, chaos behind the scenes. We value a quality product and will continue to work tirelessly to provide that to you for free. And I'm like, say free one more time. I wanted the hat trick. But I I watched this and I was instantly put off. I just really
Yeah,
was. It reminded me of the scene from The Rocker, which is the Rainn Wilson movie, the guy that plays Dwight. His
yeah,
band opens for another band, and the band they open for gets booed off the stage in this crowded arena. So they're like,
yeah.
what do we do? We got to go on, right? The record rep says, no, like, you can't upstage the headliner. It's a bad look. Nobody wins.
Mhm.
And they're like, these people deserve to get their money's worth. And he goes, it's a free show, dumbass. Like, the tickets were free, right? And it just, that's what it reminded me of. I almost would have preferred him not say anything at all, because this was
Yeah,
honestly, it felt like a piss poor excuse. I mean, am I wrong in that kind of reaction?
not at all, not at all. If you ask me, and I mean, at this point, I've pretty much accepted that you get in enough trouble, so I'm willing to sink on that ship with you. If I get in trouble, then so be it. But no, really, I mean, I really feel like it's yes, it is free, but at the same time, if you're gonna as the commissioner, you should certainly have a lot better control over something that a league that's been around for 16 years now. I don't really accept the, oh, it's free, and we're gonna have back end hiccups and all that stuff. I mean, we've been past that. I could see if it was like, the first, the second, the third, even fourth year of the league being around, but at some point we got to get the ball rolling. At some point we got to have a consistent stream. It's just kind of crazy to me, and I share your same sentiments exactly.
So it just put me off, right?
Yeah,
Watching this, because Malcolm, you were there with me when I worked as director of media and marketing for the CIF and the media specialist for the Beef. I had like 3 shows a week I had to put together.
yeah,
Did you ever
yeah.
hear me make excuses for stuff? I
Not
mean,
one, one.
there was a meeting that we had where I explicitly said to the GMs and coaches, I said, if we're going to do this, given my schedule, I'm going to need this, this, and this from you. It was player of the week nominees and then the highlights that
Mhm.
you guys wanted considered for the top plays. I got player of the week nominees from Jones, but that didn't mean anything because I was already at those games. I got a
Yeah.
few from Irv, from Sioux City, a couple from Huron O'Neill, but nothing from the rest of the league. So I had to go
Mhm.
through and look at the stats. You remember there was a time where I had to like hand tally your stats for that
Yeah,
week,
yeah, for sure.
and I never got a single highlight. So I had to go through 3 hour games and screen grab on my phone and then put them together and organize them and voice them over. And I might have bitched and moaned throughout the entire process, but I never made excuses for it. Like, hey, this is going to be later. This is going to be low quality, because my name is on it. Like, my
Yeah,
brand is attached to it. So it needs to be to the standard that I know I can deliver. There was a time when the league did charge to stream the games, and it was still shitty. So it's like, free or paid, it doesn't matter. But we
yeah,
live in an age now where things can be done so easily. Like, I used to pay a lot just to podcast, and now I can stream and do a video on YouTube for next to nothing. And it looks like a
yeah,
professional quality thing. So, like I said, it just felt like a piss poor excuse. It's whatever. I'm putting the streams to bed now, especially after San Diego's stream tonight. That was like you were watching an NFL game. That was crisp,
yeah,
clean. The camera cuts were exactly where they needed to be. The cameras
yeah.
were steady. I mean, everything went off without a hitch. That is your mark. And unfortunately, just
Oh
like
yeah.
grading on a curve, if nobody got 100% on the test, then we're going to grade you based on whoever got the highest. Well, this is the opposite of that. San Diego has shown you what you are capable of. And now
Oh
every
yeah.
team that fails to meet that, there could be criticism, but I'm done with it. I'm done with the stream talk. I'm happy to move on, put it to
Yeah.
bed. I do find it hilarious that in the comments, there's people like Zoe Productions who said that they work hard to provide a free service and we come on here and we bitch like they owe something to us? Yes, they do. Like they
They
absolutely
definitely
owe it
do.
to us, the fans that pay the ticket prices, that buy the merch,
Mhm.
buy the concessions. Yeah, they want to see their teams when they're away. And not everybody can go to a watch party. I used to live in a city that no longer has a team, and I still followed
Yeah.
the league. People have seen teams come and go so much that they will
Mhm.
follow players, they'll find new teams to cheer for, but it's become routine to them. And the IFL should be eternally grateful that there are those people out there, because
Hell
without
yeah.
fans, you don't have a product. And
Nothing at
so
all.
for Zio Productions, whoever they are, the league does not need you to come to their rescue on subjects like
Mhm.
this. They just don't. Like,
Not at
it's
all, man. I would love to know how much and who paid this guy to comment on there. I don't know, man. I feel like I can't help but think he's a a spy for the other side or something.
you got to take the criticism, and I hope the commissioner can handle this kind of criticism, because if you think this is bad, like I guarantee you, the IFL, MLB, NBA,
Mhm.
WNBA, I get that the commissioners of all leagues, shapes and sizes, get
Uh-huh.
harsh criticism and feedback. Like it's
Oh,
not
I'm
going to be
sure.
just me. Okay, it's not going to be all
I'm
butterflies
sure.
and rainbows. So
Right.
putting the streams to bed, Malcolm. Maybe not just yet. He's hitting the snooze on it for right now. But
There you go.
what a great week too. We did have some UFL action, which I thought was
Yep.
fantastic, because that just means more spring football. The final scores for that, which we don't talk a whole lot about it, because that's a very oversaturated market right now. But the
Mhm.
Stallions over the Renegades, so champion versus champion. Stallions win that 27-14. Then the
Mhm.
Battlehawks fall shy 16-18 to the Panthers. That Jake Bates, I think, had like a 64-yard field goal. That's ridiculous.
Man,
First one he's made since
crazy.
high school. Defenders fall to the Brahmas, 12-27, and the Showboats out of Memphis, they get an early win, 18-12 over the Roughnecks. The USFL conference is 2-0 over the XFL conference.
Yeah.
Interesting tidbit. I wasn't prepared for that. I thought maybe
Yeah.
we'd be, kind of even here, but good good for all of them though. This is good no matter what. I wish Seattle still had the Dragons, because that team and logo was awesome, but it is what it
Yeah.
is. So to the meat of it, IFL week number 3, Friday we had 2 games. The Storm 41, Pirates 49. So Storm 0-2, Pirates
Mhm.
remain undefeated. Benefield, dude, guy's a stud. 15 of
Man,
16, 173 yards and 5 TDs through the air. But hey, Hall, 10 of 16, 166, 3 passing TDs, 3 rushing TDs. So
mhm.
obviously we're starting to see offenses gel a little more. But
Right.
yeah, you mentioned that number 1 play. So this was good quality football. Turnout maybe not the best, but I think we're starting to get there. Now we're gonna maybe look toward the defense, but yeah, Pirates still look like a team to beat. And then the other
Yeah.
one was the Gladiators 40, the Fighters 49, and this was the first defeat that Father Malc took in our pick'em. And Gladiators 0-2, Fighters remain undefeated. Kilgo though, man, he had almost 200 yards and 5 touchdowns, but he did have 2 INTs. Where Edwards,
Yeah.
he only had 57 yards through the air, 2 TDs through the air, but he did have 3 touchdowns on the ground. So more of that Lamar Jackson type play that you guys
Mhm.
were talking about. Your thoughts, Friday's game? Anything stand out to you that we didn't mention there in the quick recap?
Nah, nah, really, you hit it right on the head, man. The quarterback play is pivotal in this league. Like you said, the offense. This is really an offense-driven game, the indoor game. So I mean, you have to have great quarterback play. Um, Man, TJ Edwards, man, I can't say enough about the guy, man. I should have known better than to bet against them, because TJ Edwards simply does TJ Edwards things, man. I think the very first offensive play from scrimmage, he had like a 40-yard run, very close to a touchdown. But I mean, the guy is special, man. He's just a guy who makes plays. He's a game changer, and he shows it whenever he gets the opportunity. But like you said, Kilgo didn't do bad at all. Really, I had a chance to kind of chop it up with a Duke City coach. I won't say who. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But
Especially on my
they,
show, right?
oh man, we'll need any more trouble at this point. But yeah, man, he told me that they're having quote unquote quarterback issues, and I see where he's coming from as far as the turnovers, but I would say, give Kilgo a shot, man. Like just don't be so quick to give up on him because I mean I've seen a lot of great flashes of some good football. It's just if you could eliminate the bad, he could be a really good quarterback. So I mean that's what pretty much stood out to me about Friday's game. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I think Duke City will get it right. I do. I don't think they're going to be an easy win for anybody. In fact, looking at the first 3 weeks, I don't think anybody's going to be an easy win for anybody. In fact, we'll talk about a
Yeah.
game that's a perfect example of that here in just a second. But Saturday, Sugar Skulls, their season debut. We had Marshall on. We had a great time, but they came up
Oh, wow.
short. It was 48-54 against Northern Arizona. And
Yeah.
man, Jones, dude, he had over 200 yards, 212, 19 to 27, though, but five TDs through the air. I thought Mitchell
Mhm.
did really well as quarterback for the Sugar Skulls, kept his composure,
Mhm.
fought through to the end. 128 yards, a single TD, but 98 on the ground and four. But McCorker, another hat trick. This time wasn't even a single kick return for a touchdown, but he's that dude, man. Like
Yeah,
McCorker
yeah.
is a stud, man.
For sure, that boy, another guy who I'm sure they're super happy to have, man. I knew from week one he was gonna make a lot of plays for them because the two return kicks, I believe. But since then he's just been taking off, man.
And so that brings us to Sunday, doubleheader Easter. Not the best decision scheduling wise for the IFL. If you saw some of
Yeah,
the attendance in those games, it was not great. I think the whole weekend
um,
of Easter really should just be a bye week for the entire league. I mean, it's hard to. You can argue that if you looked at the Monday night game in San Diego, that crowd was excellent. Like I said,
man.
the whole thing was excellent there. But in Friday's games, those were all right. But it's just that Easter weekend, man. You've got a lot of players in a league like this that are very family oriented and very
Oh yeah,
tight knit. And so Easter is a huge holiday for them. So not only that, but your ideal demographic as far as season ticket holders are people that are looking for something to do on a weekend in town.
right.
And if they're already busy with Easter, it's not going to be an arena football game. So
That's true.
that's my little takeaway from watching the live streams there. But we did have the Sharks 33 and the Nighthawks 39. This one you thought was probably over at halftime. At one point, I think it
Yeah.
was 30, 31-19 or something like that, 32-19. But
Mhm.
then the Sharks rallied. I think they're starting to find their IFL rhythm. They ultimately came up short, so they're 0-2, and the Nighthawks 2-0, which is great for them. But um,
Mhm.
I think the Sharks will figure it out. It was uh, it was one of those games where I think their coach in a post game interview said there was a lot of mistakes that were made, and this is the time to clean them up because this is
Yeah.
basically your preseason right here. So Sharks, two road games, two losses. I think their first home game will be a breath of fresh air for them, especially how far they traveled for this one. And then the Rattlers. And this was the dagger for
Um,
my man, Father Malc. I said I never bet against Billy Back. And then you and Marshall were both like, I don't see Arizona dropping two in a row. Did we jinx these teams? Like, is this the year?
we must have.
Is this the year that we start seeing a lot of stuff that we're used to just not happen? And if that happened, it would be a beautiful thing because I love that
Yeah,
about sports so much.
yeah.
41-47, early game of the year candidate, easily. Sugar Shane Simpson is like a McCorker. He is that dude. I mean, the running games for some of these teams have been amazing. And DeQuan Neal, if you're going to lose the championship MVP, I don't know if there's a better replacement than a DeQuan Neal in the league, short of a Alejandro Benefield, or somebody like TJ Edwards, somebody who is a staple of the league right now at that position because he hasn't missed a beat. There was some growing pains early. You could see chemistry just wasn't there. But
Uh,
Bay Area, man, they get the banner drop and they get the 1-0 start after Arizona had, two games already under their belt. But Dalton Snead will be back. Lorenzo looked all right. but they've got
Mhm.
some stuff to figure out. And then, of course, the Monday night week 3 finale. The Gunslingers, man, they made this one heck of a game. They had the best debut of any new team I think I've ever seen, even though it was a loss, 61-69 against San Diego. But they came to play. Like, they really came to play. I was really impressed with this game.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree 100%, man. Casanova, what I think he had 5 rushing touchdowns, a couple in the air, making plays on his feet all night. The defense doing that thing, just a bunch of guys in the NAL regulars or household names. You got Zach Brown, um, just a bunch of guys over there who I'm used to seeing in the NAL. They came in there making their mark on the IFL immediately, man. It's a great thing to see. It's hard to not see them doing good in this league, should I say. It was funny earlier in the week when I posted the our picks for the win loss situation. I had a couple guys who I know personally. One of my guys from the Gunslingers, RJ Roundtree. He told me, he said, "Don't doubt us, man. We got some dogs. We got some dogs over here." And he had me sweating for a minute because I know if they did win, how it looked like they were for a long time. He'll be blowing up my phone and he wouldn't let me hear the end of it.
Well, and this is one of the games where I believe now we shift our focus to, okay, what are the defenses doing? I think 3 weeks
Yeah,
is enough to start hitting your offensive stride, especially with practices in between there. Because if San Diego would have lost this game, I would have looked
yeah.
at this and been like, if you're Nate Davis and you throw 8 touchdowns, like what else could you have done? Like, in all honesty, like what else could there have been for you to do other than just keep slinging it? I mean, it was one of the best quarterback performances I've ever seen. And if you still would have lost, like that's some Philip Rivers shit. you know,
Yeah.
you throw for like 540 yards and still lose. You tell your ground game pretty much the hell with it. But I mean, wow. So as a defensive guy, I mean, where does your mind go now after, like, whether you're on a winning team or a losing team? Clearly, this is a game where there's going to be a lot of points. So, how do you keep your focus and what are you focused on?
Man, that's a great question, Rick. That's $1 million question, actually. I was thinking to myself too at one point in the game. I was like, man, come on. Like at some point, one of these defenses have to step up because if not, it's gonna be freaking 100 to 100. It's just gonna go out like they're gonna score through the roof. But I would say ultimately, like you said, the offenses have hit their stride. The difference maker, and you've heard it before, defense wins championships. In a game like this, it comes down to a difference between maybe 1 or 2 possessions. If you can focus on getting maybe one to two stops a quarter, then your team will fare pretty well, because the offense is going to score nonstop, ideally. And if, as a defense, if you can take some of the pressure off of them by just getting a stop and offsetting the scoring margin a little bit, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to be world beaters. You don't have to be, as a linebacker, you don't have to be Luke Kuechly. You don't have to on a back end be a Darrell Revis or anything like that. Just simply play your game, do your job, beat the man in front of you, and just get 1 or 2 stops per quarter, and then you'll be on top.
And I feel bad because there have been some amazing defensive plays. Like the end of the Bay Area Arizona game was a sack on
Yeah,
Lorenzo Brown.
right.
They had a chance for the Heave to win it, and it doesn't matter if there's 10 or 2 seconds left. If there's a single score to be had, like your team is still in the game. It's crazy. It's one of the best things about arena and indoor football. So there have been some
Yeah.
phenomenal defensive plays. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. We
Mhm.
just knew going into this week that if you bet the unders last week, that this was going to be the week that all the overs started to hit, and we saw that.
Oh yeah,
And it's just
big day.
because the offenses are starting to hit their stride, and now it's going to be the defense's turn, coordinators
Yeah.
and players alike, to start to figure out, okay, how do we stop these guys? Because every game that we talked about has playmakers. I mean, Cox was, I think, a rookie for San Diego. He caught three
Right.
touchdowns tonight from Nate Davis. I mean, you just don't know where guys are going to come from or who's going to be the guy that game, that week,
Mhm.
that month, and that's one of the things that you have to plan and prep for as a defense. But points are going to be scored, and you just kind of
Yeah.
have to, settle down, take a deep breath, and as Malcolm would say, yellow, 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 and get ready, man, because here it comes. Now it is time to get ready to do our picks for week 4 of Indoor Football League action. But first, we're going to welcome our guest for this portion of the show, a man who represents Quad City. So, Wheeler Nation, stand up and recognize one of my favorite DBs in the league. It is Malik Duncan. Dunk, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed. Every day feels the same, so I don't know if today Monday or Tuesday. So
I know how that can be, man. Well, hey, it's good to see you. I'm glad that you were able to join us on such short notice. But it's Quad City. I've only been there once. I've seen your guys' games in person a couple of times, though. And I got to say, I don't think that there's been a team in the league that I've ever gone to and just felt instantly at home and so welcome. And the crowd is electric. I mean, how many years have you been in the league now?
my first year was actually 2019. I played the last 7 games with Quad City. I was with the Steelers in 2018. Then 2019, I decided to go to the Philly Soul Arena One. Got released, and then Coach Ross decided to take a chance on me once I sent him the film from Philly Soul. So yeah, since 2019.
Wow, awesome, man. So, been in it for a minute. You tell me then firsthand, like, what is it that makes Quad City so special? Because now, in the 16th year of the league, you've got teams in big markets, Massachusetts, Jacksonville, Florida, 2 in California, in the Bay Area, in San Diego. You got Frisco, Texas, Vegas, 2 in Arizona. But obviously, the Green Bays, the Iowas, and the Quad Cities, they're staples of this league, and they're still special. They're still going strong. So, from your perspective, what makes Quad City special?
It starts from up top. Coach Ross, Destiny, they do a great job. Destiny, she does a lot. A lot of people don't understand. She wears hats for everything. She makes sure the game day ops is right. She has great staff under her. Next to her, I'll say, not even under her because she don't put nobody above her. So that is just below her. I'm sorry, but that starts right there. And then Coach Ross, he tries to run everything exactly how it was ran for him back in the day. When he played in the league and stuff like that. Obviously, it's a different situation because indoor football league doesn't have those things that the NFL do have, but he does try to make it as close to it as possible. And he's a family guy. He's a loyal guy. He's one of them coaches who believe in the same group I go in finishing camp is the same group I'm trying to finish with. We'll make a few changes because that's part of football, but he's real big on chemistry. That's why I'm so loyal to him and gonna rock with him until I can't rock no more. So
That's awesome, man. All right, so we got good coaching staff, good front office, top to bottom. Which, hey, in the world of indoor football, front office, coaching staff, it goes a long way. Like, not all ownership groups or front offices are created equal. So, I know Destiny and the rest of the crew, like you said, they do a fantastic job. What about just the atmosphere on game day and your guys' fan base? I mean, they love you guys there, and how
yeah.
much of a difference does that make when it comes to the off season? And if you have to make that hard choice of like where you want to play next, if it's uncertain and how much you want to go back to where you just were, if it's a Quad City.
Well, I mean, it's different, man. I got the chance to. This is the first team to ever take a chance on me. And now my like I said, my loyalty is gonna be with Coach Ross. But just from the guys from the outside in, right? You don't really know too much about indoor football. Let's say that type of guy. You're not gonna pick Iowa or Illinois to go. I mean, let's just all honesty. You get these Friscos, you got the Jacksonville, you got these big cities. People want to live in nice areas. Now, I'm not saying this is not a nice area. I'm just saying you want to be in a bigger city. You want to have a chance to do different things. You got to think that a lot of these guys are in their mid-20s, low 20s, or high 20s, and some are 30. You know what I'm saying? That small percentage, probably 5%. But from our time coming back after being from coronavirus, we went to the playoffs. We went to the national championship. You can't that's 2 years after being off, taking off after 2021 being, dormant. 2022, we go to the national championship being the underdogs. And in 2023, we fell short and we lost first round. So, as an offensive guy, I want to get the ball. I'm looking at, okay, Coach Ross do a lot of great things. And Coach Ross, his offense is great. And I like the way, Coach Dixie Wooten, his offense as well. They have pretty much similar offenses just by, how they can score. And Coach Chin as well, that's at Vegas. Those three guys are great offensive coordinators. And I'm not taking no knock from anybody else, but when you talk about offenses, them three guys know how to put up points for sure. So as an offensive guy, them are three places for sure if I'm looking at it like, I definitely want to play for them three coaches.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And we will talk about your guys' offense here in a second, but I'll go ahead and hand it off to my cohort here, Father Malc. Anything from your end as a player for Dunk here as far as questions about Quad City Live for just this season so far?
For sure, man. For sure, Dunk. I just want to say, for one, man, it's and I think I speak for Rich too when I say it's cool having you on here, man.
Appreciate
It
it.
took me a second to, kind of put the face with the jersey number and everything, but now that I know who you are, I remember your play, man. I seen you play. I think I played against you a couple of times, man. You're really doing it at a high level out there, man. It's cool
Thank
to
you,
see.
man. Thank you, bro.
Sure. And also I wanted to say I almost ended up in Quad City too, man.
For real?
I kind of I talked to I don't know if Coach Nigel Stevens is
Nigel,
still
Coach
there.
Nigel, yeah.
Yeah. He hit me up not too long. I want to say this is like before the 2022 season started. I ended up going to Duke City instead, but he hit me up like saying we shared a little conversation, I want to say I was this close to going up there, man.
Should have did
I
it.
was
Should
almost
have did it, man.
I
Should
should
have did
have, man. But
it.
nah, man, hats off to y'all for sure, man. Y'all, yeah, from the coaching staff, like you said, from top to bottom, man. Y'all definitely looking good.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I
For
was like
sure.
a salesman for you guys, Green Bay and Iowa for a period of time, even when I wasn't covering the league anymore. Because I remember having conversations with Malc here, and I said, what are you chasing at this point? Like, are you chasing another ring? Are you chasing film experience? Like what do you want out of a team? And we talked, and because I used to say to the guys back in like 2020, 2021, if you're chasing a ring, okay, you can go join up with Arizona or Sioux Falls, and be on a roster that maybe wins a championship, have play a couple of downs or whatever, depending on your talent level, of course. But I said, if you want film, if you want an experience, if you want to go to a place where the fans will love you and treat you like family, I mean, that's Quad, Green Bay, and Iowa, like every time, hands down. And so I said, you were that kind of guy in Omaha. I feel like your perfect fit is going to be, a Quad City or a Green Bay because that's where you could be you and the fans would love
Yeah,
it. So,
for
there's
sure.
there's guys I have conversations with like that, and I try to pick their brain. But now I can say if you're chasing a ring, hey, Quad City, man. I mean, they're going to be
Hey,
in the mix
hey,
now.
man. I told people in 2022 my exact prediction. Me and my brother is the other safety, Darion Jackson, and we was telling people we was like it's gonna be Quad City versus Northern Arizona. This is when we lost to Frisco the last time, the third time. Or the second time. It was one when we played them at their house. We wore all red. I don't remember what time that was. I think it was the second time. But I said it's gonna be us versus Nas in the national championship. I watched Nas play. I said it's gonna be us versus Nas in Vegas. The first time ever in Vegas. Two teams. Boom, boom. Watch what I tell you. We ended up going to Vegas. Unfortunately, we fell short, but it's still, it still happened.
Oh yeah, it's still there. I said, I think on the first episode, I told Malc, I said there's a hump that they're trying to get over, and I think that starts with a week one win over Sioux Falls, and sure enough, you guys got it. So that'll
For
be a
sure.
nice segue into our week four predictions. But first, Dunk, just a quick comment. Obviously, Quad City's so well known for its offensive firepower. You guys still have it there with, Rudd and then the addition of Harrington the last couple of seasons. But you guys lose an EJ Hilliard. You now have a Judd Erickson, and we've seen a sample of his work. You guys come out with the win. He made some plays with his legs, and it's going to take a little bit to develop some chemistry with Rudd. I mean, with EJ and Rudd, it was like automatic. I mean, they could
Yeah.
basically just, they didn't even have to look at each
Yeah, they
other and
got they
talk.
had like a
They,
twin
the,
telepathy. Yeah.
yeah, it was a mental thing, right? Cerebral. So what do you like about Erickson as far as early in the season and then going into unfinished business, really?
Yeah. For sure. I mean, first off, you get your flowers to EJ. Definitely, for what he done for the organization.
Absolutely.
Taking us to the championship, the wins and everything like that. So you gotta always give him his flowers. You know what I'm saying? For Judd, definitely giving him his flowers as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he came out his first game as a Steamwheeler. We got the job done. About Judd, he's a great leader. He's one of those quarterbacks. Because I mean, obviously you don't see him like I see him. So he's one of them quarterbacks who gets in that huddle. Boom, boom, boom. He takes in the control of it, and I love that. You know what I'm saying? Like just to have to, you have to fill big roles. Like you have to fill a big spot. Losing EJ, and then so he come in there and he's doing good. We got the job done. We won. It might have not been his greatest performance he felt, but I feel like he did pretty dang good, in his first game indoors. But I feel like y'all haven't even seen the best him yet until about week 4, week 5. We got it on Saturday night, so I know they'll be ready. The bye week, bodies got right, so it's gonna be a good one.
All right, vote of confidence from Malik Duncan. So, enough talk about that. Time for picks. So, we're going to ask Dunk for his thoughts, not his official picks, but just his thoughts on the game, what he likes about both teams, and then maybe a player or an aspect of the game, special teams defense to watch that could be the difference maker. And the first one on this Super Saturday, week 4. That's right, all the games. Saturday, there's also WrestleMania Night 1 happening, so pick your poison.
Oh.
But we got Super Saturday, first one on the schedule on the website is a battle of the best cowboy logo in the league between the Northern Arizona Wranglers and the San Antonio Gunslingers. Northern Arizona 1-1, tough loss at home to Arizona, but then obviously they get one back with the road win or a home win with Tucson. But now they're going to be on the road for the first time against a team that, despite what we saw from Jacksonville's debut in their first couple of weeks, this team looked like they had been around a league like the IFL for a while. They came to play, and that's the Gunslingers. So, Dunk, what do you like about these two teams? What's going to be the difference maker in this one?
Well, look, Naz, you got Les Moss, great coach. He gonna have his guys ready. I seen, watching Naz, they got a special returner, number 7. I don't know his name. I need to give it. Yeah, he's dangerous. Kick the ball to him. I would tell kick the ball to him. But he's dangerous. San Antonio, the quarterback, he's phenomenal, man. I love his game. They got a good friend of mine that actually was my roommate, and we actually went to camp together back in 2019. DJ Myers, great receiver. He's getting adjusted to the IFL game. He won Ironman of the Year in the NAL, so it's definitely a different game for him. But once he can get it on, he's still gonna make his plays. But once he can figure out the IFL way, you gonna hear his name a lot this year. Watch what I tell you. So
Yeah, as I told Malc when we did our week 3 recap, it looks like we've seen a lot of the offenses start to come into stride, especially the ones that have already played. There was only 3 left that hadn't played any action before, but even they looked really impressive, and San Antonio was one of them. So now our focus is going to turn to the defense. How do you stop some of these high-powered offenses, especially the ones that are really starting to get it figured out? And so that'll be, I think, the storyline for week 4 and probably week 5, maybe through the mid part of the season. But Malc, who are you taking in this one?
Man, well, first off, 2 things that Dunk said for sure that I agree with, man. It's definitely going to be a high-scoring game. No matter who wins the shootout, it's going to be a good one. But I love. I mean, I over there in Albany as well. Last year, I played with Sam Castronova, the quarterback for San Antonio, and he's a special guy, man. That dude can play, and I think he's gonna be the ultimate game changer in that game. So, not to take anything away from Naz, but I certainly think San Antonio is gonna come out on top.
Yeah, this was a tough one for me. I think San Antonio, though, kind of has the edge. They're going to be at home, and even though in a loss, they're coming in with a lot of momentum and confidence, which is
Yeah.
not something that you can say for the Sharks right now, because they went toe to toe, in San Diego with the Strike Force and almost got away with the win, despite Nate Davis throwing 8 touchdowns. Which at that point, I mean, what else are you supposed to do on the offense? So, I like
Right.
San Antonio's grit early on. I like the confidence that they probably have. Northern Arizona obviously has some confidence themselves. They're coming off of a win against Tucson, but I'm going to give the edge to the home team. I think we can all agree players to watch, as Malc said, is going to be the quarterback for San Antonio, and then I think McCorker for Northern Arizona. Those are going to be the two guys. So that brings us to the next game. Reigning champions Bay Area Panthers go coast to coast against the team that just went coast to almost coast, and that's the Jacksonville Sharks. 0-2. Man, this one, it feels like it's pretty heavy on one side of the meter as opposed to the other, but anything can happen. This is Jax's first home game all season. 2 road games is tough in a new league with new rules and all that. And they've really stayed in each one, and I applaud them for that. I really do. So Dunk, what do you like about each team, even though obviously Jacksonville's new and of course Bay Area is reigning champion, and what's going to be the difference maker in this one?
I seen just talk about Jacksonville. Um, just coming into a new league, it's always gonna be tough, but they're fighting. You know what I'm saying? They're not giving up. As you seen the last game with Vegas, they were down, for a good minute, and they kept fighting. They almost came back and won. So one thing you can say about Jacksonville, they ain't gonna stop fighting, and they only gonna get better as the weeks go on, because eventually it's gonna click. So when they do click, they could be very dangerous. So it depends on the time when it does click. Bay Area, after watching them, I mean, they got some talent, man. It's I want to say they probably better than last year. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how good they looked.
For sure, yeah. And, it's going to be a learning experience for both San Antonio and Jacksonville. I think that the one thing people may not give enough credit or attention to is the fact that Bay Area, even though they were at home, banner drop night, there was a lot of pressure on that game. They went up against a team that had already played twice in a season where that is your preseason. The first 3 weeks is basically your preseason, and they came out with a W. That is some grit, man. That is great coaching. That is knowing your assignments. That's clock management. That is everything you expect from a championship team. So I think it's going to continue to be the initiation period for Jacksonville. I do think 0-3, though, is going to be the worst that we see the Sharks in their IFL tenure. I really do. So I'm going to go with Bay Area. Malc, who do you like?
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on this one, Rich. I'm definitely taking Bay Area in this. One central theme that I hear from everybody who actually watches the IFL closely is that Jax they're still trying to find it. They're still trying to click really. I feel for them, and that's just part of entering a new league. But it's not much to be said about a team who's still trying to find it versus a team who's found it and is running with it already. Like you guys said, man, it's just a lot of talent over there. You got Daquan Neal, JT Stokes, Pierre Williams, man. On the defensive side, you got Kincaid, you got Bowers, you got a bunch of guys who know the game of football, and a bunch of coaches who know the game of football, and that's a dangerous combination, man.
All right, so we both like Bay Area in that one. That brings us to the matchup between two of Malcolm's former teams. The 0-1 Tucson Sugar Skulls will visit the 0-2 Duke City Gladiators. Our first somebody's got to win of the season. Dunk, you know both of these teams fairly well. So what do you like about each one, and what's going to be the difference maker here?
Duke City just gotta find a way to move the ball more effectively, score. You know what I'm saying? And their defense played good. I like how they played Frisco, man. They gave Frisco a run for their money. We all know Frisco always gonna be good. They're gonna have great talent, great coaching. So you got to bring your money. You got to put your money where your mouth is when you play Frisco, and that's anybody in this league. But Duke City just gotta. I just say they got to play as one, and just lessen the mistakes. Then you got Tucson quarterback Malik Mitchell. Y'all don't know him yet. He's from my city, Cleveland, Ohio. Boy, so he's dangerous. He played a good game last week.
Yeah, I
Left-handed
was
guy.
impressed. I was
Yeah,
impressed with
he
him.
had his first game. So he won 2 national championships at Ferris State. He's a guy that y'all gonna hear about. Once he can get it rolling, how he know. I mean, he's gonna always compete. That's just because who he is. But when he figure it all out completely, it's over. And Coach Billy, you know how he is. He does a great job on offense. He runs some things for you, but then you got Kaiser, man, another Cleveland guy on that defense, and he's gonna run some things that's gonna challenge Duke City at times and to have them thinking. And if you can have them thinking, along with blitzing and things like that, you're gonna get some turnovers. That's what he looked for. He want turnovers, and he can get turnovers if he can have them, start thinking.
Yeah, I think this will be a true test for both teams, really. I mean, I was a little surprised to see Tucson not get the win. I'm not taking anything from Naz, but I think, when it's a Billy Back team, his season debut, we expect a win, for his crew because of his tenure in the league and what he's been able to do with every team that he's ever coached for. But, now they get a chance to go on the road again and get things right. But also, Duke City, good test for them. Are they good? They're just unlucky, or do they have a long season ahead of them as far as they're going to make just a few more mistakes than maybe the other team does? So, Malc, which team of yours that you played for do you like more?
When you put it like that, it's kind of difficult to choose. But I think you hit it right on the head with the Duke City. They're good. They've just been unlucky, really. I think Duke City is gonna, go ahead and take this one home. I think they've had their fill of losing so far, and they're ready to get a dub in that win column.
All right, so this is where we disagree for the first time. I like Tucson again. I don't bet against Billy Back. I really think that we had Marshall on last week, and who knows what's going to happen. I think this will be a really good game. I do, but so I will take Tucson. Malcolm likes once again Duke City, so we'll see how that one plays out. That brings us to our next one, and oh, look at that! It is a candidate for Game of the Week when the Green Bay Blizzard storm into Quad City to take on those Steamwheelers. We've already
Mhm.
heard plenty about the Steamwheelers. So, Dunk, why don't you just tell us, as a opponent, as a guy who loves competition, as a guy who respects the opponent, what do you like that Green Bay does this year?
uh, Coach Corey, Coach Robertson, he does some great things on defense. He mixing a lot of different things up. I see when I watch him. They making plays, man. They play Massachusetts great. They play Iowa great. So it's definitely gonna be a great game. The offense, Coach Matt. I played against him actually. He was at Tucson. He knocked us out. He beat us for our chance to go to the playoffs. He played a great game, but he's been doing a great job on offense. He's allowed his quarterback to be comfortable and things like that. So he throws some great things at you, and he puts them in great situations. Can't get mad at that.
No, we can't get mad at that at all. And I think their quarterback, Max Myler, I think he's their guy. He's a dude.
Yeah.
Good for them. They're gonna come off a win, off a bye, and go into enemy territory. But you guys all love each other. I love both of these teams. Like I hate this pick. I really do. Like Malcolm knows how much I hate trying to pick this game. But I think for the sake of who our guest is and what's over my
No,
shoulder
hey,
right here, man,
no, no,
like.
no, man, no. Hey, I'm gonna just tell you, anybody that's watching this, man, if you play for Green Bay, go at number 34, Darion Jackson, please. That's my little brother. He had 8 picks, but he want the smoke and go get it, y'all. Throw it at him.
Still though, I'm
Wow.
the one that has a page that's got comment sections, okay? And I don't need that. That's a different kind of smoke that you guys aren't used to. So I'm gonna go Quad City. Okay, I'm gonna play this one
Okay.
safe.
Okay.
So Malcolm, what about you?
Let's see, man. This that pivotal point in the show, man, where we were in a different setting. Y'all probably beat me up, man. But look,
Oh, oh,
I gotta no disrespect to you, man, but I'm a,
it's
I'm a
okay.
betting man. I'm a realist, man. I think Green Bay they just may have a leg up on y'all.
Hey, that's the
Um,
best thing about it. We got to see Saturday night, man.
for
So
sure, for
that's cool
sure,
with
for
me.
sure.
I'm cool with
Hey,
that. And tell them to run my way and throw my way too. All right.
for sure, man. I think you're gonna see a lot of it too, man. I mean, like Rich said, Max Miler, man, he's just getting better week by week. I think they got you guys this week. So we'll see for sure. I'll definitely be tuned in, man.
Make sure
like
you drop the link in the comments too. Make sure you
for
join
sure, for
that too.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, save your
Most
receipts for
definitely.
Malcolm, all right?
Yeah. This is recorded, so please make sure you mention this on the page and everything.
Hey,
Oh.
I like it, man. I like it.
Like I said, I think game of the week candidate, it'll probably come down to the wire. My player to watch is going to be Harrington. I think just like with Naz and McCorker, this is a guy who, whether it's special teams
Yeah.
or offense, if he
Kick it to him.
finds
Yeah,
if he finds a
Kick it
way,
to
man,
him.
for
like
sure, for sure.
he's that dude, man. You guys got lucky with that pickup, man. I couldn't believe it. That was crazy. Also, I love your guys' red helmets. I really do. Those are sharp. I wish the
Don't see,
smokestack smoke
never
was
see.
white though to make it pop a little bit. That's my one criticism. But the red helmets look good. They look
What
real
about the
good.
New Jerseys? Do you like the New Jerseys?
I do. I do. I think the jersey. You guys
Don't
have always
see.
had great jerseys though. Like top
Yeah.
3 in the league every time. Like
More traditional type deal, you know?
yes, yes, very
Yeah.
true. Love it. All right, so our Saturday week 4 grand finale is the Iowa Barnstormers 0-1, only one taste of action all season, but also against the 0-1 Tulsa Oilers, who really they should have had that win against Frisco. We can all admit it, but hopefully they know how many timeouts they got in the bank at the end of this one. But this is a team on the road that you guys know very well in Quad City in Iowa, and then a team that was new last year that really started to turn around at the end of the season. So, Dunk, what do you like from both, and what's the difference maker here?
Iowa, who their quarterback is, DJ. DJP does a great job, man. He tore his ACL last year, but when I watched him last week against Green Bay, he's still running good. Looking fast, still looking efficient. He kept them in the game, and he's their leader. He's their guy. So for them, for Tulsa, you have to stop him. You find a way, to make things happen and stop him. Tulsa, Coach Marvin Jones, his defense is always gonna be great. That offense is good too, man. They got Trey Harvey over there. He was a former teammate of mine. Ramon Morris. They got some guys, man. They got some guys over there.
All right, so Malcolm, remember, we know guys on this Tulsa team, and you still didn't pick them. This is a chance for you to redeem yourself, despite the fact that it was a win for you. You got the pick right, and that's why I'm
Yeah.
wearing this ridiculous garb right now. But here it is.
0-2,
Okay, Oilers, Coach Jones, the guys, they're at home against Iowa. Who you taking?
Man, let me just start off by saying my guys,
Here we
my
go.
guys over in Tulsa, man. Much love for them. Definitely sorry for picking against y'all, bro. Y'all know I got love for you. So to make amends for that, I'm still gonna pick against y'all, man. Look, I got Iowa for this. Nah, like you said, dog, DJP, man, that's a special dude, man, for sure. I don't think the defense is gonna let them move the ball necessarily, but at the same time, I don't think there's a lot they can do to stop them. So I mean, especially like with the weapons they have over there. So I think that's gonna be it, man. Iowa all the way.
Okay.
All the way. I ain't never heard that one.
Oh, Iowa all the way. And
Yeah,
once
I ain't never heard
again,
that one.
I'm a
I
hashtag that.
and once again, I'm going to show where my allegiances lie in this league, even though I do love the Iowa Barnstormers family. But hey, I was on a team with guys who are now on Tulsa. Coach Jones was there. Hawkins, Montero, we did that stuff in that championship year. So I am going to go with the Oilers at home, their home opener, to get it right this time. So me and Malc, we are different on 3 games. So a nice little back and forth there. Once again, we'll see. It's all going to come down to Saturday. This last week, I was sitting pretty after that Sunday night Bay Area win. So, but I have done my punishment for last week's pick the punishment, and now I get to pick Malcolm's punishment. And I just want to preface with this that we're in episode 3 of being back. We're going into week 4. Like, it's only going to get worse. And when I was going over my ideas with my wife, I told her, I said, should I have him like log on to Madden and play as the Cowboys and just lose all day to anybody that wants to challenge him? Should I have him put his dreads in pigtails and lip sync to "Hit Me Baby One More Time" and post it on Insta? She's like, okay, let me stop you right there.
All right,
that's
good.
that's deep into the
Thank you.
pool. We are
Thank
gonna
you,
just
Dandra.
tiptoe into this because you're wearing, rival team gear. Right? So you need to, tit for tat here. And then as you guys
Uh,
go, I said, okay, fair is fair, fair is fair. So she definitely came in and saved you on that one because I had some really
uh,
good ones, and I'm gonna keep coming up with really good ones. So here it is. You had me dress in rival team apparel for the entirety of this episode. And for people that don't realize, this
yes,
episode
sir.
has gone on longer than it was supposed to. But
Look,
neither here nor there. So what we're gonna have you do then is
talk to
when
me.
this episode comes out on Wednesday, okay,
Okay.
Malcolm is going to post, not story, post to his Instagram declaring that the Cowboys are the greatest team of all time. Now, I'm a 49ers fan, so it does me no justice, but I know how much it's going to pain and shame him. And you've got to leave it up at least until we record, that following Monday, if not
Oh
until
my
the next
gosh,
episode debuts.
man.
And then you can take it down. You can take it down, but I'm going to keep sharing it like
Oh my
every day
gosh.
that it's
Well,
up.
That's tough. That's tough.
I'm just saying, right? It couldn't be the Giants or the Eagles or like any other NFC East team. It gotta be the Cowboys, man.
Cowboy.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
Yeah, Dunk Malcolm's a Commanders
Oh,
fan, so he already has to deal
Oh,
with a lot of stuff.
he's stuffing a McMuffin. He's stripping.
hey, bro, I'm telling you, man. If I don't get at least 100 messages from my friends and family, bro, they going, bro. I'm telling you, this is crazy. Well, hey, a bet's a bet, man. I'll do it.
You can
Damn, bro.
preface it however you want. You can say this is me because I lost in Pick'em. This is my punishment. Like I don't care how
Oh
you spin
yeah.
it, but somewhere in
Yeah,
that
Okay,
yeah, you
okay.
gotta
video,
make sure you spin it like that though, Michael. Just say, man,
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for sure.
Yeah, you can't let them just go at you like that.
give
I'm
yourself some
saying for the
integrity, some honor.
Cowboys.
I'm a man of
All right,
my
man.
word, so here I am doing
Okay.
this.
Okay. I think one of my guys got a OG Roy Williams jersey, so I'll see what I can
Oh,
do.
throw
I'll
it
see
on the
what I
Roy.
can do, man. That's crazy.
All right. So I have picked the punishment for Malcolm. We'll see who comes out on top for the next episode, how long his internet continues to be paid every month. But this has been a lot of fun. Dunk, man, it was great to see you again, and thanks for coming on. I do want to do a collab with you at some point. Go ahead and give yourself a nice little promo on here for where people can find you and what you're up to off the field.
You can find me on Instagram as Malik Duncan, or you can type in Dunk__1. Off the field, I do life insurance and stuff like that. Just got other things going on. Part owner of a rugby team, Cleveland rugby team. So just slow grinding. That's who I am. But right now I'm focused on trying to make these picks wrong on Saturday night because somebody voted against me and my dog. So we got to just, do our part.
For sure.
All right, one more time. He is Malik Duncan of the Quad Cities Steamwheelers. Don't forget for the fan show that if you're a visual person, you can see us on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You get the full episode there. All of our laughs and our pretty smiles and our embarrassment and everything else that we have to offer in the shame department of losing. But if you're more of an audio person, well, we've got you covered there too, because you can find the podcast form on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and Spreaker, which is our home base. And then every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Express Radio on live365.com. Follow us on all the social media, including Instagram, The Fan Show, X at Fan Show Official, and give the Facebook page a like while you're at it. We got great content all week long, especially on game days. So for Malik Duncan, from my man, Father Malc, I'm the T-Man, Richard T-Man. This has been another fantastic episode of The Fan Show, episode 483, and we will see you next time.